I make myself laugh. Look at my glasses. I didn't notice this until I went on the air, and I thought, holy shit, what's that? Oh. Damn, I hate getting old. Anyway, this video is, again, praising Salt Lake City, the home of the Mormon Church, for some of the most insidious behaviors and evils in the damn world. I am just shocked. When I read this, I worry about raising my kids in this state. Let me tell you what it is. Okay, this is Channel 4 News in Salt Lake City, October 13, 2012, 11:36 a.m. What time is it? Oh, I have a clock. Okay. Hell, this is 4 minutes old. Okay. David tries to keep you in touch. Okay. Here's what I am seeing. It says, Salt Lake considered a hub, H-U-B, for cartels selling Mexican meth. Oh, Jesus. Salt Lake City. The Drug Enforcement Agency said Salt Lake City is one of the 6 U.S. cities where large amounts of Mexican methamphetamines is turning up. Once they beat the border checkpoint, Salt Lake is a great place to set up distribution. It's similar to a fast food operation. The cartels manufacture large amounts of nearly pure meth in super labs in Mexico. The cartels sell it at a cheap price and try to get as many people hooked on it as possible. The meth is smuggled into the United States in gas tanks, PVC pipes, door panels, engine blocks. Now, Smith tells ABC News here in Salt Lake City, stash houses are popping up in neighborhoods across the Wasatch Front. Sometimes it's in a trailer, apartment, or a home in a gated community. The drugs are then shipped from stash houses in Salt Lake City to various cities across the U.S. These people are targeting our children. He is confident that agents in Utah will be able to rid the cartel from operating in Salt Lake in the future. Yeah, well, he's just trying to keep his job. What else is the guy going to say? Alright, well, I thought, you know, when we bought our house, now, oh shit, we don't own a house. Tell the Danites, you know, we live in a basement apartment in Australia somewhere. But if we had bought a house in Utah, I was always amazed that the house had to be certified as a drug lab free house, that there'd never been a methamphetamine operation in the house. I never heard of such a thing. I've owned houses in California, Missouri, Kansas, Massachusetts. You know, I haven't lived everywhere, but God, I've never heard that a real estate agent here in Utah, I'm not in Utah, I'm in Australia, but if I was in Utah, you have to certify, the owner has to certify that this has not been a drug lab. And if it has, then you get your money back. You know, you don't have to move into the house because they're very dangerous. And to decontaminate a house from meth labs is almost impossible. You almost have to bulldoze the house down. So I was surprised that when we were thinking of buying a house in Utah, that that disclosure was absolutely necessary. So now I understand that we're one of the 6 largest distribution points for methamphetamines in the entire world. Yeah, well, at least in the United States. You know, I keep telling you, if I keep shaking my head like it's going to fall right off on the damn ground, how can these Mormons in this state allow this? They're so busy molesting their own children. They're so busy trying to cover up that they've got 13 or 14 wives and 26 kids, and many of those families, I shouldn't say many, some of those families are on welfare. Our courts are constantly tied up with polygamous groups that disobeyed this law or didn't. Sometimes the DA or the Attorney General wants no polygamists in the state, and then for 2 or 5 years he goes, I don't care, they can be here, I don't. There's no rhyme or reason. There's, you know, conferences with thousands of Mormons marching like Mobots over to the conference center, and these damn meth labs and distribution points are all over the Salt Lake area. This is an absolute case of shit for brains. The Mormon Church and the Mormon legislators and the Mormon police forces in this state are in a dream world. They are in a dream world. I don't want methamphetamines around where my kids can possibly pick something up like that and get addicted. I don't like graffiti. I think graffiti sucks. You know, if you're a young person and you watch me, which is not a lot, there's some. If you do graffiti, screw you. I don't like you writing in public places your opinions. Go home. Draw on your own walls inside your house. I don't care, but don't come out in the public and do that shit. I don't want gang drive-by shootings. I don't want all of that illegal drug activity in my state and in my area. Now here I am, an atheist, and I'm on the video spending my time and my money saying, gee, let's clean up Salt Lake City. I told you 1,000 times, my standards are so much higher than the Mormon Church, you're not going to believe how high my standards are. I'll spend my time, my money, my computer, my effort, my energy, everything that I have that I consecrated once to the Mormon Church, I'm taking back. I'm taking back. I don't want this shit in my community. Let's get off the religious high horse bullshit and let's get some money and some expertise into our transportation system. You know damn well that all comes up I-15 right out of Las Vegas. That's the main corridor coming into Utah. And we can't stop this? We can't stop this. The state is paralyzed in religion. And while it's paralyzed in its phony religion and freakish religion and cult, they don't give a shit about anything else that goes on. Drug cartels can run wild. Meth labs can be everywhere. Rather than stopping the meth labs, all they do is just make you disclose it on a real estate contract. What stupidity. What stupidity. And rather than all of these members of the cult being involved, they're all in a closed community. They talk with each other, they sell with each other, they buy with each other, they talk to each other, they wear all the same underwear, they eat all the same food, and they're not a cult. And they don't see anything that's going on in the outside world. Well, I do. I'm sorry. I do. This is a large drug capital distribution center of the world. And it's in the Mormon, not backyard, it's in the Mormon house. The house of the Lord. What do you think? A Monson is going to say, oh, you can't put meth in the Holy of Holies. It's spare all the time. Jesus don't show up there. Go ahead and fill that sucker with meth. And most people aren't coming to the temple anymore, so God, fill up the celestial room. We don't care. Just put meth everywhere, and we'll just go ahead and bow our heads and say yes. Bow our heads and say yes. Well, the Mormons think they're persecuted. They're not persecuted. They're too stupid to be persecuted. To allow this kind of... Can you imagine Salt Lake City being more of a distribution and storage area for meth than Los Angeles? Than San Francisco? Than New York? How does that happen in a little desert town, Salt Lake City? It's because half the place right now, half is Mormon and half are not. And the half that's not are like me. We're concerned about the community. We're concerned about crime and dangers to our children. The Mormon Church isn't concerned. God, they've been molesting scouts for 50 years in the Mormon Church. You're going to see that. When the scout papers come out, you're going to see many of the Mormon people have been molesting scouts. We're number 8 in the country for molesting children. We're #1 prescription drug addicted. It goes on and on and on. How can these people be in such a haze and phase? They don't see this until it overruns them. I'm not for illegal people coming into our country. I brought 3 people into this country, and it cost me $60,000. They had to have their shots. Their backgrounds had to be checked. They had to be able to be drug-free, and that they had to have all of the diseases of a third world country checked before they were allowed to get on that plane. And then when they come in the country, they come in on a green card. And on a green card, every 10 years, they check their addresses, they check their background, they check their history. They certainly can apply for citizenship. Why should someone be able to jump over the goddamn fence, avoid that $60,000, bring all kinds of plagues and disease into our country, and then bring the Mexican drug war over, which we caused? We're the ones that take the drugs. We're the ones that give them money. We're the ones that give them guns. Where is it? Where are the brains of human beings? It's just me, 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 me. Whatever makes me happy, I don't care what the rest of you do. Well, we're part of a community here. We've got to take a look at methamphetamines and the storage and the drug houses and stop them and go hard. When we give, Jesus, when we give $10,000 bail to a child molester, all he or she has to do is raise $1,000 in cash and have somebody sign over that if they skip the state, their house or other assets can be seized. We let people out of the jail for $1,000 bail for child molestation. Our jail at Point of the Mountain is full of drug people that we allow in the state, that we allow to shoot up neighborhoods. We have drive-by shootings over in West Valley, just south of Salt Lake. We have all kinds of crime over there. You can't walk over there at night. You can't. You can't walk over there at night. You know, I've been in Ensenada and Tijuana, and I'm telling you, it's close to Ensenada and Tijuana over there on the west side. It's not a conviction of a race of people or a culture or a society. I'm just saying it's illegal. Desperate people do desperate things. Here we are again, Salt Lake City, the home of the prophet of the Mormon Church, and we're #6 in methamphetamine drug distribution. You gotta love the Mormons. The only people the Mormons love are themselves. As we take over this state, us non-Mormons and apostate Mormons and normal people, we're gonna vote their asses out of here. They've got a stranglehold on this, and by the time we can get enough of a majority in an election, you know, we'll be the drug capital of the world with illegal drugs and prescription medications. The people in this state hate their lives. They hate their lives. They're the most miserable human beings I've ever seen. They're not allowed to laugh. It's against their temple rules to laugh, to have light-mindedness and have a joke. If you're non-members and you want to be in a community of people that are concerned, please come to Utah. I'm not in Utah, but if I was, I would want you to come to Utah and join us. Come here and vote. Come here and register. Let's stop the silliness and stop as much as we can the crime and be in the capital, you know, of the world in drug distribution. It's worse than shame. It's worse than shame. It's a religion. It's worse than evil. It's worse than a cult. They'll let the non-member children be addicted to meth, and then they're going to keep their kids so busy and in the house and away from this They don't give a shit about anybody, and that's the history of Mormons. They don't care about one person in this world unless you're a Mormon. And you know what? I'm an atheist, and I care about their children. Not just my children, but their children. My standards are much, much higher. Let's protect all the children in this state against methamphetamine laboratories and distribution centers. Thank you.